Birthday Special Edition. I'm ready. Are you? I'm all ready. Guys, 30 plus 2 podcast right now.
Pacific Northwest Motocross, are you ready for the 30 plus 2 podcast with Gravy and Gate Drop? Let's go!
All right, and we're back
Yeah.
again. Just when you think we were gone forever, we're
Thought
back
they got rid of
again.
us.
Yeah, we took a week off. I should probably start posting when I say, "Hey, we're gonna take a week off," instead of like people tuning in on Facebook, staring at their phones. I mean, they're staring at their phones anyways, so
Right.
I don't, maybe
I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
they get the memo at like 6:32. Like, okay, they're not coming on,
Right.
So
We're
yeah,
usually pretty spot on time, so if we're not there at 6:30, then we're probably not going to be there.
All right, it's 30 plus 2 podcast with yours truly, Gravy and Gate Drop. Grayson,
What's
it's been
up?
2 weeks. A lot of moto's been going on. This episode is episode 21, Summer Vibes in the Pacific Northwest. And we have guest Nate Willett on in just a bit. How you been doing for the last 2 weeks? Have you been taking any media? What's been happening?
Well, I ended up catching the COVID for a little bit, so I was down and out for a minute, but now I'm all better. I made it back out to Albany this last Saturday for the first round of the Gold Cup Series for Albany and Moto 541. So that turned out to be a pretty good day. Had some good signups, got some good photos, some good battles. A couple gnarly little wrecks that we had through the day, but everybody walked away and we had a good day. It's nice to be back at the track and having that scorching 89, 90 degree weather again.
Yeah, so Albany, that was this past weekend, right? Like 2 days ago?
Yep, this last Saturday.
Right,
it was Saturday and Sunday. They had round 1 and 2.
That
it's a new
explains why our attendance pools were so spread out, because we had Blue Crew Invite at Washougal this past weekend. We had Pac West at Olympic Peninsula Motorcycle Club. We had Loretta Lynn's regional qualifier at Colorado at Thunder Valley. From the looks of it, Cody Wingardner was out there. And then I was in Idaho in the potato land over at Fossil Bowl doing media for Pacific Racing Organization. So quite a bit of racing going on. I think we have hit full steam ahead with, just racing all together in the Pacific Northwest, because we even had Friday night Moto Pacific on Friday, and Horn did stuff, Airway did stuff.
Everybody.
Put a dartboard on your wall, throw a dart, and pick where you're going to go, because I think we're in full swing here.
So many options now. It's awesome to see that we're finally back and thriving again in full force.
Yeah, it looked like everyone had a decent crowd size from the looks of it. And looked like a lot of Medford, Albany people kind of stuck with Albany. Your diehard Pac West people traveled up to OPMC. Your PRO people went towards Idaho with me. Speaking of diehards and like all-American badasses, I know you don't know any of the recap from Fossil Bowl, but Lexi Y, she goes and races Moto Pacific Friday night. Does the Christoph Train Express of leaving from one track to the next. Her and her dad, Dan, and the rest of her family show up at 4 a.m. for Fossil Bowl because she's got to keep her points. Gets up, hasn't tried out the track, got a few practice sessions in, and talk about myself having to turn in my man card. She's like the woman Ryan Hughes here. I'll give you the rundown of what happened. She's battling in the women's class, going after it against this number 6 on the Yamaha. OJ's a jump, breaks her foot, Grayson. Rides it out to the checkered flag in second. immediately pulls off. I ask her, I'm like, is it your ankle? Because like obviously something's going on there. She decides to DNF the second moto, rightfully so, to try to rest up. But then it gets even crazier. She decides, you know what? We're out here in Idaho. I'm a badass. I'm gonna go out on Sunday and race my first moto. Boots on, broken foot and all, goes off racing pretty much one-footed. Like, this is Rhino stuff right here. And gets her points and then calls it a day. And yeah, has a broken talus bone, so she is out for a few months. But I don't know what else to say other than Lexi Y is the most badass person you ever met. And if you have any excuse why you can't race your moto, I don't know what to do for you.
Right. No, that's some perseverance right there. That's some commitment. And it's cool to see that the younger generation is coming up strong and pushing through just to score points at a local series too, nonetheless. You know what I mean? Like that's commitment and passion towards the sport.
Yeah. So shout out to Lexi Y. Get well soon. If you guys want to put any questions in the chat coming up in a few minutes, we will have Nate Willett. He was up and coming amateur rider here. You've seen him at Thursday Night Motocross. He got unfortunately paralyzed from the waist down. So kind of a crazy injury that he's had. And I wasn't trying to make this episode an injury episode, but no, this is like the comeback episode. He's come back and he's racing again. Like, that's an ultimate story right there. Racing at Thursday Night Motocross and everything else. So yeah, we're going to get to know Nate on what his career was like prior to 2016. And then what got him back in the moto and racing, like, nonetheless. Like, I would just ride, but he's pulling the ultimate, like, badass card and is out there shredding on his KTM by the help of his friends, family, and Motorsport Hillsboro. So yeah, looking forward to hear his story and everything on that. Anything else to report on your side, Grayson? You said you had some gnarly crashes, so I guess we're gonna make summer vibes, crashing vibes.
I think so. Totally drawing a blank right now on his name. The number 500 on the Motorsport Husqvarna.
Oh, Hammershock.
Yep, Hammershock. That's it. He had a nice over the bar moment in the
Ejectocito, cuz
the whoops rhythm section down at Albany. He pulled a good start, was starting to pull away from the pack, tried to triple in, came up just a little bit short.
Oh no!
But he took a nice tumble, got up, walked off though. Thank God. We had to red flag that one because it was right in the middle of the whoops. But thankfully he was able to walk away, and he was in good spirits the whole time. So that was good to see. But yeah, no, I think we're starting off with some nice little wrecks already this year.
Well, those whoops will get you. We didn't really have anything gnarly at Fossil Bowl. The only thing that was gnarly, they weren't even race incident or even track incident. Like MNF, don't kickstart a bike with flip flops.
Nope.
She knows better now. She accidentally filleted the back of her heel trying to kickstart a 50 for a friend. Had to go get 15 stitches. And then if you were not at Fossil Bowl, we had a major car accident on the highway. Luckily, the 20-year-old's going to be all right. But yeah, he was not wearing his seatbelt. The car in front of him decided to pull a Yui, and he rolled that car multiple times and got life flighted out. So yeah, we're going to change the vibes now. Get well soon to that driver. And yeah.
Right.
Switch it up real quick.
Switch it up a little bit on the humorous side. Josh Lee showed up down in Albany for the Gold Cup series and weekend for pro motocross. So it was kind of cool having him out there. He was starting backwards every moto. So he was catching everybody pretty much by the end of the first lap, which was so fun to watch.
Yeah, and speaking of pros, we're getting closer to July. Pro motocross at Washougal is going to be coming up shortly in the next couple weeks. You're going to likely see Stank Dog and B-Ray most likely. Luke Barrick.
Is Carson coming out for this one? Do you know?
I don't know. Carson does what Carson does.
Right. He'll wake up that morning, and if he wants to, he'll show up. If not,
I'm sure he could just text Motorsport and be like, I'm in. And they would find a spot and pay for everything. And Red Bull would also maybe just parachute like Carson Brown
right.
into that with like the Red Bull like parachute.
Opening ceremonies, we get a paratrooper in.
It's coming through. It's Carson Brown. Lands like right on the triple.
Right, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. That's only about 3.5 weeks away. And
yep, 3.5 weeks away.
That Thursday before.
Thursday night motocross anniversary race. Everyone shows up. Hopefully Devin Harriman's healed up by then. I haven't seen him riding lately, so he always puts on a good show. Who else are top hitters? Chase Reed. Connolly's moved up the pro class. Spangle.
Ryder Fisher shows up there.
Ryder Fisher throws fat whips.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we got a handful of local guys, but it's super cool to see the privateers that are rolling through to make that couple extra dollars before they head up to Washougal.
Yeah. So talent pool is there as we wait for Nate to hop on here.
Last year was a good one. We had Rod Bell out there.
Yeah.
Was it Cody Graves? Like there were some pretty good big names in the privateer guys that showed up. So hopefully we get another good turnout this year. It's always a fun one.
Year we had Ryan Sipes there.
Yep. So. Ryan Sipes has done it. We had Alessi's. We've had Freeze. So it's just pretty cool.
Don't quote me on it. I think Carson Brown is racing the anniversary race. So
then we already know.
I think that's a thing. I have no solid concrete information. I will try to track him down at some point. Washougal is this weekend, Classic 7, round 5 and 6. Since 5 got canceled, everything got shifted around. But yeah, I don't know what else is going on this weekend. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff going on for Horn and Albany, at least. I know tomorrow's got Albany practice as usual, which I don't know if it's a mini rant or whatnot for me, but like Albany has Wednesday practices like every single Wednesday, and I don't understand why we have to continuously question if there's a practice on Wednesday. If you look outside and it's sunny and nothing's posted, there's 100% chance
that it's happening. Exactly.
So,
I don't understand that either. Like I'll catch you and I'll even do it myself. I'll be commenting on the post like, like it's happening. If you don't see a cancellation post, then it's probably happening. Just start driving, dude.
Yeah. So if there's any other events or whatnot, feel free to post in the comments here. And if you have questions as we wait for Nate Willett to jump on here so we can get to know his story and whatnot. It looks like he's just trying to configure some stuff. We'll talk to him shortly.
What do we got? Southwick this weekend?
Yeah, Southwick. Did you see the videos prior to Southwick?
The flooding. That's insane.
They got lucky that it was a weekend off because they probably would have had to like postpone it with that much water. I mean, there was a whole a swimming pool in the middle of the middle of the track and whatnot. That was absolutely gnarly.
Basically a river flowing through there too. It was insane. I saw some clips where the dirt was just washing away.
Yeah. Like a river. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Southwick. Yeah, we can talk about pro motocross since we haven't really talked about it. Master Pool got his first win, 300th win for Peyton. That was really cool. I don't know what's going on with Levi, so I'm just going to skip that topic. Hopefully he rebounds for Southwick. Vial needs a rebound because the Deegan train is not slowing down.
It's not. Somebody's got to get in front of it real quick if they're going to want to derail that train.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it would have to be a bike failure or some kind of crash that made a DNF to kind of reset the board because he's already like a moto ahead of everyone.
I think a crash is definitely in the picture for him, unfortunately. Like we've already seen him kind of throw it away a little bit here and there, but there's a lot of racing left for the outdoors, so I think it could happen. He could throw away a moto for sure still.
Do we see with this weekend off Jet Lawrence just going 1-1 the rest of the season? Bold questions.
I don't think so. I think Hunter is going to get him one of these days. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I think honestly Hunter is going to be one of the ones to stop the streak the rest of the year.
I would literally not be surprised whatsoever if Jet just goes 1-1 at Southwick.
Right.
I'd be like, yep.
I think he'll bounce back really strong, but I still think that there's a couple people that could, compete for that win right now too. Still.
Another question: does Jet get the red plate back by Washougal?
Because what's his points right now?
Let's see, pro motocross.
Because I don't think he's super far down.
It is. Drum roll. Jet Lawrence is at 163. Hunter Lawrence has 171. He is. Do the math for me.
What is it? 163, 171. Is that 7? Like 8?
Yeah, something like
8
that.
Points. I haven't done math in like 15 years, so don't get too mad.
Well,
but no, that's definitely doable. I think that's possible to have that red plate.
You were right. 8 points. You're a winner. So if he goes 1-1, that's 6. And then coming up on the schedule, I mean,
Redbud, Southwick.
He's gonna have it back by Redbud if he just goes 1-1-1. So
I think it's possible. By the end of Redbud, he'll have it.
Stretch. So yeah, that's pretty much Nate's trying to get on his phone, so we will get him here shortly. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, Washougal is this weekend. Signups are open for media. This is the last weekend of me for a few weeks. The Pacific Northwest are probably all cheering right now, like, oh yeah.
Okay, I think I hear something outside.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. So after this weekend, I board a plane on Tuesday. So I will be in Wales for 10 days.
Ooh.
So yeah,
don't lose your passport.
My passport looks like
I would say, can we see the picture? There's a comment floating around somewhere about that, and I'm
like
curious.
Ahmed, like from Saudi Arabia. It's not working that well.
Oh yeah,
they got the full beard action, or Jebediah with a bomb.
Jedediah.
I'm just kidding. NSA, FBI.
Clear your search history now.
Clear your search history. Allah. All right. Well,
is he in?
Not quite yet. We are still waiting, which is all right. Let me see what's going on. What? Says he has to pay.
Has to pay? That is weird.
Let me try this again.
Is he trying to start his own account?
I don't know. Try this one. That's weird. Did you use the same stream as I did?
Yeah.
Try that one. Just waiting for it to go badoop. Please hold.
Technical difficulties. Like always, it wouldn't be our show if we didn't have a couple issues.
Well, it is Military Appreciation race at Washougal coming up on the Nationals. Washougal's been doing some cool stuff as I banter here, trying to get Nate on.
Wasn't last year technically like a retro round, but nobody really kind of went for it, I think.
It was just what you would call it, like just the Yamaha
stuff. I thought I heard beforehand that there was like a unwritten retro weekend, but because all the 2-strokes were coming out, but who knows? Nobody really knows what's going on. But the military one, that'll be pretty cool. I've always wanted to go to the San Diego race when they've done that.
Yeah, so it's cool that they're doing Appreciation Week. Trying to figure out what else is going on. Why is this not working? This is what it takes me to.
Are we going to have them just call your phone and do it kind of like we did with, what was it, Jason?
Not seeing it. Copy paste. You should press the firework on the device and your navigation bar. wonder if I can refresh the link. Hang on. If I get booted, let's not boot. All right, we're still here. Let's try this. Sent me a text, so I'm going to see if this works. Try this. Wonder if he doesn't have Safari, and that's why it's not working.
I've used it through Chrome.
Yeah, for some reason, it sent him something messed up on here. Safari to work on this device to share a thing in your navigation. There he is. All right, I got Nate on, so we got it all fixed. Let me go ahead and throw our guest on here. Thanks everyone for waiting patiently.
All right.
Bummed about no racing weekend, so throw him on here. Here's our guest.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
I see a victor and I want it into black.
All right, that was quick. Sorry about technical difficulties there, Nate. Thanks for joining us on the 30 Plus 2 podcast. As I tried to do your intro, it lagged on my screen, so who knows? Tuesday vibe.
You right?
Yep, we can hear you. So,
all right.
Yeah, I don't know why I was giving you a paid screen. I don't know if they upgraded and they're trying to like give us like, you know, donations to keep from lagging or whatnot. But here we are.
It was like over like $200. I said, like, excuse me,
what kind of bait and switch game is Christoph trying to pull here? All right. Well, for those that don't know, Nate Willett, he races Thursday Night Motocross and has been in the moto scene for quite a while. So let's do a little bit of a rewind here. Let's take it back. When did you get started in the riding and racing motocross? Because I know the earliest memory I have of you from at least my photos is like 2013.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's when I started to even go to tracks and all that kind of stuff. But like, I probably started riding when I was probably like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Going out to like the, you know, my brother really got me into it, getting me like a little CRF 50 and going out there and just cruising in the field a little bit. Really did a lot of like mostly like trail riding and stuff like that. But again, really didn't start actually racing until probably, I would say like 2010. It was like when I was on my 65.
Okay.
Yeah, so right around then, that's when I like really started to want to go to PIR. Like my first race at PIR was like on my 60 back then. But then it you know, made a progression here pretty quick.
Yeah. So from like trail riding to like, you know, riding here and there, did you ever go to like Albany, Washougal, or was like Thursday Night Motocross just kind of your like kind of debut for a racetrack?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know I went to Albany a lot. That's where I went out. I did my first race at Albany on my 65. So that was a while back. And then for sure, where I first started racing like the most was at Thursday Night Motocross. One of my actually really good buddies, Austin Black. He actually went to my mom's daycare back then. That's how like that's how Austin met. Was he went to my mom's daycare, found out he started riding. Then I started going to his place, finding out he's riding at PIR, and then I was like, "Oh my!" That's when I first actually knew about Thursday Night Motocross, because originally I thought it was like a car track, you know.
Okay.
No idea that there was a motocross track in the middle of it, but yeah, that's when I first went out there, and sooner or later I was riding my 5 out there for a little bit, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, small world. Like I've taken photos of Austin since he was like on a 65. So, and I know Grayson, you've gotten the same thing.
Oh yeah,
50 on a 50.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
That's crazy. So you got into like racing Thursday Night Motocross, and like to be honest, you started getting really, really fast. Like, what were your goals? Like, kind of like now that you're in racing scene now, and then you know you've progressed to be a front runner at Thursday Night Motocross. Like, did you have goals of like becoming a pro, or where'd you want to take moto?
You know, for sure in the back of my head, I was always wanting to be, a pro, and whether it probably wouldn't be a factory type of pro, but at least being in that like pro class and being able to ride with those guys, definitely a huge dream of mine, and it came, a lot quicker than I even expected. Because I feel like I really started getting on my 250. That's when it really grow on me. I was a little bit bigger for like a 85. I skipped a 125. Never even rode one of those. Just 250, and then progressed like really quickly. I started in the beginner class, obviously, and then I was only in there for probably like a year. Then I went into the junior class, which I don't really think I was in that class for too long, maybe like 2 years at most. Because I just wanted to progress as quick as I can. But then I got into the intermediate class in probably end of 2014. Maybe even before that too as well a little bit. But definitely in 2015 I was starting to get like really good into the intermediate class, racing out at like Thursday Night Motocross, like Albany, all the kind of the local tracks. Amateur races probably would have been a different story because a lot of and guys there. I expected from me definitely like a good a solid top 10, top 5 maybe. That's kind of where I would put myself there, because those guys are just pretty crazy fast, about to be getting into the pro class. So that's where I saw myself. I definitely saw it I was going to be wanting to be in the intermediate class for probably a good 3 years, maybe 4 years. And when I had my accident, it was around that 3 or 2 year mark, getting to the 3 year. But definitely wanted to become a local pro for sure, and I think I was getting there pretty quick.
Yeah, didn't you like race for Thursday Night Motocross at one point? I'm trying to remember if you had that graphic kit on your Honda.
I didn't actually have the Thursday Night Motocross.
Okay.
I rode for Rick though, but it was called Ricasso Racing.
Okay.
So he had like his own little thing made up where he grabbed like me, a really good friend Tyler, a couple other guys, and he just made his team that he kind of wanted to support instead of the Thursday Night Motocross. It could have got to that point, but he had Ricasso Racing for a good few years, and that's who I rode for.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you had like some I'm like trying to do like down memory lane in my own head because I know your Honda was black at one point and you had some kind of connection there. So that's what I was trying to like remember, because like I felt like you were somewhat in that group of like riders that the Wilders support. So that's really cool that Rick did it back then, even did a additional like team to help amateur riders.
Yeah, for sure.
So, correct me if I'm wrong or not. Like, how was was it the 2016 season where everything kind of drastically changed? Like, how was that a year going for you?
Yeah. So funny. So back in 2016 when the injury happened, actually wasn't even supposed to ride this day.
Oh man.
The June 4th, 2016, I had a bunch of buddies of mine were supposed to go out to like Jones Creek or something like that right on a weekend, just summertime. And I had another buddy of mine reaching out to me, letting me know, he's like, hey, like, if you want to go ride, I'm going riding right now, actually. And my dad would love to be able for you to come with me, because obviously going to ride by yourself is a little bit iffy, but having another guy with you. He paid for me to go out, ride, and me and my buddy, we've been good friends for a long time. So, I went out to Riverdale, and when we were out there, I went out to the vet track over at Riverdale, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And did a little bit of laps there. Went out to the main, did a few motos, came back, and then I just wanted to go ride just a little bit more. So I went out to the vet track just because I was having a little more fun with that one. And there was like this big roller tabletop, and on that roller, you know, I was getting like further and further because there was a little bit of a gap. So I was like gradually getting a little bit further and further. And I was like, oh, dude, you know, I can. That's easy. Like I can hit this, go to the table, no big deal. But anyway, I come around and I wanted to go all the way to the table, but it just sent me to the moon.
Holy
And I
cow.
was definitely not and like I came up short. I don't exactly remember 100% what happened, but I hit the ground. Well, I came up short big time, and then you know, I just remember kind of getting on my back a little bit, kind of feeling around. You know, it was definitely not normal. So anyway, had some guys come over, check me out, and then getting life flighted out to the local hospital. That's when I had to get, you know, surgery because I broke my back. I broke my T5, 6, and 7 vertebrae, kind of in the middle of your back, and just had to get emergency surgery. And yeah, dude, it was definitely crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't have that extent. I know the vet track is not it's fun until it's not. I broke my ankle there and literally twisted my ankle the opposite direction. So I kind of vaguely know like the section you were talking about because, well, one, I was not going to jump that, so I'll give you full props. I'll jump on that. But yeah, I mean, just like that's a part of life on how dangerous our sport is. I mean, just with local riders as well, like Ricky Russell. I don't know if you ever raced against him. He did Thursday night motocross. He got paralyzed at Horn. And then our local Nolan Byer, who was, you know, going up to pro class, he's like now progressed into doing graphics with his own business Avail and helping out at Albany doing what he can. And then as a recent, like, you know, hopefully he continues healing. Landon Beecher, unfortunately, got paralyzed on the horsepower hill on the uphill. Like, I'll let Grayson take it away from here. Like, what is, you know, what, like, go for it, Grayson, on questions.
Yeah. Right, he was asking who was it? Was it the last guy on horsepower hill?
Landon Beecher. He was trying to go Loretta's, and he endoed up the uphill, I believe, which those rollers got him, unfortunately. So yeah, just crazy how our sport is.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then like what's his name? Andrew. Oh, shit, I forgot his last name. I'm pretty sure he got.
Andrew Marshall as well. Yeah, that was at PIR.
I've been talking to him a lot too as well.
It's crazy. You know, speaking of that too, like I don't know if you guys saw, was it Matt Byton had a really bad one at Mammoth?
Yeah, Scott
he's
Steffi
actually
something today.
Yeah,
too.
he's actually like they're going in on surgeries and hoping they can help him, but he had a really bad one too, and he might be paralyzed from like the waist down as well.
Jeez.
Wow.
It's crazy. This sport, it's dangerous as hell, and you know, you never know what's gonna happen. So what was like your reasoning and want to come back to riding and not only riding but like racing again? Like, what was your thought process through that after that horrific crash?
Yeah, for sure. You know, definitely when it first happened, I wasn't even looking at wanting to get a bike. Like I had a 125 for quite a while, but like I just selling it because I knew like I wasn't gonna be wanting to get back on a bike again, or just like, you know, that never came to my mind of actually wanting to get back up on a bike again.
Yeah.
But going out, you know, getting with my buddies and, you know, going out to the track, watching ride, you know, going out to PIR too as well, watching all the races, you know, just kind of like you get that a little bit to really ride again. But then really, you know, scrolling through Instagram and stuff, I see this guy, I don't know if you've heard of, like Michael Mays, and then there's a guy named Will Posey too as well. Like I know, like I think Michael, he got injured not too like long after I did. He started riding like a year or two after his injury. So then I'm like looking at his like Instagram stuff. I'm seeing all of his things that he's done to his bike, his YouTube channel where he talks about what he's done, and it's just like, shoot, dude, like I can do that. Like,
Right.
there's no way. It's like the same injury level. It's like, if you got all the things to be able to let you do that, it should be pretty simple. So I ended up getting a bike at Motorsport, and I got a bike without even knowing that I could ride still. I just knew that, like, hey, if they can do it, like, I can do it. Like, it's, same injury type thing.
Right.
So we got that. I went out. The first time I rode again was back at. I went out there. I went to the vet track, and I had some unfinished.
Yep.
that I needed to do. So anyway, we got the bike. Went out to Riverdale. Freaking. Got some bungee straps, bungee cord my feet to the pegs, and my buddy put me in second gear, and I just went off, and everything was good. I thought it would be a little weird with like the balance thing, and and with my type of injury too as well. What was really weird at first is like when when this injury happens, you feel like you're floating. You literally feel, you can't, like, imagine you sitting down and not knowing what you're at all. You feel like midair. It's the weirdest thing ever. But anyway, I was totally fine out there. Then fast forward like a year or two later, got everything done for my bike, translogic shifter. Got a guy to do my cage. Got a guy to mount my shifter on my motor, and it took a little bit of time to do all that type of stuff because like you gotta know people who know people, because I definitely know how to do all that stuff.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, how do you like even get your like set? It's not like you go to motorsport.com and just type in like, "Hey, I'm paralyzed. How do I get a cage for my bike and set it up?" I mean, one rider that I just looked up that I was remembering, Darius Glover. Like, it looks like you have somewhat the same setup as him, and I remember him absolutely sending the triple like a madman at Washougal.
Will Posey. He was actually the first guy that I saw doing it, and he has. It seems it's pretty simple, Michael Mays has this like whole bar that goes up, and obviously it's probably a little bit more safer. But for me, I was definitely not going to be wanting to go out and send all the triples and You're strapped to the bike, where the bike goes, you're gonna go, and so I don't know, it's just a weird feeling. And so anyway, I actually reached out to Will Posey and kind of got some recommendations of what he had on his bike, and let him know that I'm getting a bike. And he gave me some recommendations on like the shifter, definitely getting a seat like he did. And then, obviously getting the cage around there because you don't want, you to tip over your leg like that. But yeah, he gave me some good recommendations. So found out what the shifter was, and pretty much everything else was pretty easy to get. I mean, I have loose back brake, which usually people in enduro they use that. And so got that. I got a recluse clutch too as well, and it was a no stall, so like I can be in here, let out the clutch, and I don't really need to worry about that, So all the things like that came pretty good. And then I wanted for my seat, the guys out at Moto. I don't know if you've heard of those guys. They help out people, that are paralyzed. Bikes. I mean, they'll build out a full bike, but I saw that they were building some pretty cool seats. Reached out to David, and I sent him my seat. He got it all dialed in and sent it back, and he got all that figured out. But yeah, really, just it took a little bit of time to get everything 100%, but in the end, it worked out great. I mean, it worked perfect.
Yeah, I mean, with because you've had me film a couple times at Thursday night, and then I saw you a couple weeks ago. It looks like you've got it like pretty down now, where you're backsiding a couple of the tabletops, and you're really leaning in the corners just like you did prior to 2016. Like you said, it's like floating and whatnot. Like, has it become like, obviously it's become comfortable, but like, how do you like just put yourself in that mindset to even go for a gate drop?
Dude, I know, like, there might be a couple gates that I actually like. I want to try, because I know I can still get a start. And there's been a couple, like when I first got everything done, I only had a front brake for a little while, but I felt very uncomfortable going into the front brake, So anyway, the only thing I really felt comfortable with is with what I wanted to be 100% on was the gate. And then everything else, I mean, I wasn't jumping a lot. There are like a few tabletops here and there that are pretty small that I could hit, because, what I found out pretty quickly was that, my body can't really take a lot of hit, because when you got this type of injury, your bone density really gets low. So your bones become pretty fragile. There are other things you can do to help with that. Getting and standing as much as you can, putting pressure on bones is like the biggest thing. So I mean, I definitely do that a lot. But I probably should do it a lot more than I do.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Actually, at PIR. I came up short on a jump, and I cracked my tailbone.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude. And so I did it in practice, and it didn't really feel much. I mean, like I could tell that something was weird. I thought I like tweaked my lower back a little bit. But then I get off the track, I'm feeling around, I'm like, yeah, it just kind of feels a little weird. I thought I just like tweaked my back a little bit. That was in practice. We go out to the first moto. I do all that. I was going a little bit slower because it definitely felt a little odd. So anyway, I get off the track, and definitely it got probably a little bit worse, a little bit. Not too bad, but I didn't just tell something was wrong. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go out and do the second moto.
Yeah.
We're just anything too big. So anyway, the next day I go to work, and like, I'm definitely feeling a little nauseous a little bit. I'm feeling off because I'm feeling like my back is tweaked and something like that. But like, I knew probably something was a little bit different because I'm feeling really nauseous, like kind of getting a little bit lightheaded. And so anyway, like get done with work, go over to the hospital just because I want to get checked out and make sure everything's good. And then like, yeah, dude, get x-rays, and you crack your pelvis on the right side.
Oh,
I was just like, oh my. So that's when I knew. It's just like I barely came up short on this jump as well. Let you know, like it was nothing big at all, and I didn't even fall. Like, so it was definitely a little weird. So I knew like my body was just not much. So you kind of gotta slow it down. Things like that, happen.
Right.
But yeah, everything from crazy.
Go ahead.
Go. Yeah, I was gonna say you go for it.
No, I was gonna say just like you must have to have like a pretty cushy seat then too, just to be safe on that now.
Dude, because the seat I had before, I had a different seat than what I have now. Because yes, definitely the other seat that I had, it was pretty solid. It was the seat right when you get it out of the shop, and then all they did was add like a little bit of a back support, like where I can't backwards. That's pretty much all that he added, and so that probably came into play on that one. Just because. So anyway, when I sent it over to the redemption, I let them know. I was just like, hey, I want like a little bit more padding, a little bit more room, for the bottom to be on, and they hit the nail on it. Definitely soft, that's for sure. And I also all my suspension and like everything like that. So it's good from there.
Well, that's good. It probably took a little bit of just figuring out the little things you got to tweak here and there to make it just perfect for you.
Oh, I know. It took me cracking my tailbone to figure that out.
Right.
You're gnarly.
So here's one is so for those of who have been injured to like the extent of your injury, spinal injuries and whatnot, what kind of advice do you have for others to like help overcome that injury, to either get them back into the sport that they got injured in, whether it was moto or whatever? What kind of advice do you have for somebody going through kind of a traumatic experience like that to keep their head held high and whatnot?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's going to vary from different people.
Right.
For me, it just I love the sport so much that I was willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got a bike, I didn't really think that I was going to be getting on a gate again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But man, it's just the love and the passion, I guess, that you have for the sport, because it's been a part of my life for so long, and I wasn't just about to to leave it all and just like wish that I could be out there every time I ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really wanting to be a part of it again, and just like the community that's out at the track, like everybody out there, they're so supportive for me.
Yeah.
Like going out, like people love seeing that,
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not why I did it. I did it because my love for the sport is like I got a lot of love for the sport, and I'm sure I will for the rest of my life. But yeah, it's just how are you wanting to get back on the bike again and kind of overcome that a little bit,
Right. Yeah,
Well,
no,
Yeah,
that's
and
got to
I
be
would-
hard, like just all of the above, missing out on the community and the riding that you love so much and just the passion for it. Like, that's so cool that you still have the drive and the passion for the sport, even after something so crazy happening to you. That's really cool to see. And like you said, people get excited when they see you out there, just pushing yourself again to go out there and ride. It's super cool. Like, don't
sure.
give up on something you love.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, just like anybody for any sport, when they, if they have something, traumatic happen and they, either can't do it, just finding ways, to get around that, just to be able to go out there and enjoy yourself. And, by all means, I'm not out there to win at all.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I'm out there. I might try on the gate, but then, I'm in the beginner class, and some of those dudes are kind of gnarly out there. So I try to,
Yeah.
yeah.
try to-
You definitely ride smoother than a couple of the beginner guys. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
yeah. Besides, like, continuing on with moto and whatnot, this will be my final question. Have you ever thought about like jumping into like kart racing or even trophy truck stuff like down the road if the opportunity comes?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I've honestly been thinking about it pretty recently. I love being able to bike and stuff like that, and being able to do whatever I want. But I definitely have been thinking about, because I won't have my bike for a long time. I know it's hard on my body and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But definitely, I do want to get into some sprint car or like cage kart racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like go out to the circle track, and it's the same motor as a dirt bike, and go out there and just have some fun. Because what I really wanted to do is get into something like that, because my competitive kind of sensation, like I do really miss that part.
Yeah.
Dirt bike, I'm not going to be really that competitive. I don't really want to be that competitive, because that's pretty gnarly stuff and a lot more dangerous, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot better, definitely, in a caged car, or a go-kart like that or something. And I do have some buddies that used to race those, and they said definitely like his dad, he knows people that knows like sells those carts, and like, would definitely be able to come up with some modified things that they'd be able to do with the car. And so that's definitely something that I see in the future that I would do.
Sweet.
Just because I'm competitive part of racing. So.
Yeah, well, if anyone that's watching live can also help hook Nate up, let's get this ball rolling. Right. So then you have moto and then kart racing as well.
Let's get him down to Willamette Speedway one of these weekends.
Oh, yeah. There's so much stuff going on.
They have some stuff out of like Banks. Or no, not Banks. It is Banks too, but there's ones out in Salem for track. They got some cool kart races out there that my buddy used to race at, and we were thinking about going over there and watching a little bit. And yeah, I'll probably start doing that sooner rather than later.
Sweet,
nice.
Well, I'm all out of questions. Grayson, got anything left?
The only thing I got is like, do you have any like goals this year for riding at all? Like that you want to like check off to like, I don't know, just make yourself excited or whatever. Like you said, you're not going to be competitive racing on your bike or anything, but do you have any like goals that you're shooting for?
I do. I do have a couple goals, and one of them is to race at a couple tracks that I haven't rode at yet. For one, I haven't rode at Albany yet, which I know that track is kind of easy, but I do want to go out to Washougal, and I do want to ride that track just to like, you know, go out there and ride a little. I used to always ride too as well. And it's like, that's kind of one of my goals too, as well. It's just to go out to Washougal, and whether if it's on the gate or not, you know, to go out there and practice and try to do, a few laps as much as I can.
Right. For sure.
Kind of gnarly out there, but it's definitely for sure.
Well, I'm sure we could get you there. I know they usually do a practice session for all bikes and whatnot for a 125 Dream Race. So you could always make a weekend of it in August and then hang out. Unless someone hooks you up with a custom 125 and you end up racing that. So there's plenty of people that can build some amazing things here.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you Scott Russell's got some stuff in the warehouse too that we could modify.
Something you can dig up.
He does, dude. He'd probably love to see it too.
Yeah, well, sweet. Well, thank you for your time on here on our 30+2 podcast. For anyone that wants to follow you and keep up to date on what you're doing, what's the best place for people to reach out and follow you?
Probably on Instagram. It's just Nate Willett 110 or Nate Willett _110. I believe that's what it is. Follow me, message me, anything like that. It'd be cool.
Well, sweet. Well, thank you, Nate. I'll throw your Instagram in here as we wrap up the rest of our show, and see you. I know PIR is off for a few weeks. Let's see you back on the gate sometime soon at Thursday night.
Oh yeah, I'll be out there Thursday night.
All right. Well, thanks, Nate. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for just providing your story and whatnot. Great story, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right. That's Nate Willett from Thursday Night Motocross and everywhere else. So great story there. Yeah. Talk about overcoming goals and whatnot.
Yep.
Yes.
And to go back to where the incident happened for his first ride,
that's crazy.
That's huge. Like that's facing a monster that most people wouldn't even think about redoing.
Yeah.
And that's so cool to hear, and being able to modify bikes now to accommodate, anybody who's paralyzed or, has some kind of, injury that's preventing them to ride a normal bike. It's cool that we're able to do that now, and he's still able to enjoy the sport that he loves.
Yeah. And this, just like us, I'm going to throw his Instagram at the bottom here. Like for, I've overcome, not to that extent. I'm not trying to compare anything, but just the reason I'm trying to get to is just the passion we love for the sports and whatnot. Finding one way to make it happen here and there is something that's so special about motocross. So yeah, that was Nate Willett on here on the 30+2 podcast. And yeah, follow him, Nate Willett _110 on Instagram. And he's got a bunch of reels and whatnot. So
reels that you made. Selfless
hey,
plug a little bit.
When you want the pretty good media, hit up Gate Drop Pro.
If you want to get the somewhat okay, hit me up at
okay. Ooh. All right. Well, that is a wrap here for 30+2 podcast. We're taking a few weeks off unless you want to just do this yourself.
I don't know about that part. I'm not much of the host. You're the face of this, and I'm just kind of the fearless sidekick over here a little bit.
Fearless sidekick with the really crappy. I have like money now, so I should just send you like a camera. So yeah.
Normally it works out, but like I said, my ring light ended up dying on me, which actually makes the camera look a lot better.
That's all right.
Now I'm stuck with the laptop one at the moment.
Well, I have a 10-hour layover in Chicago, so hopefully I won't get shot. But Lauren and I will be there. Maybe I can actually sit on tutorials and see what else I can do to make our podcast better. So if I just sit down and do my job,
do some research.
Yeah, but then I'll get like, bored or something, or I'll start staring at the ceiling. So who knows?
Watching an old bar-to-bar movie on YouTube.
Yeah, I still need to put the Showdown video together from Gate Drop Showdown 1.0. So maybe I'll write the script.
Maybe you could debut that on the next episode.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have here before we wrap up, as our people just say, later, dude?
Right. I think we kind of covered everything for the most part, just
Southwick's this weekend. We went through there. Yeah. Tons
Classic 7 this weekend.
Classic 7. I was trying to post my ad, but it's being really slow, and rightfully so. Whatever. Anyways, if you want to get media, which I finally got it here. Boom. Today.
Where's it at?
Today. Eventually.
There it is.
All right. Hire photographer for the weekend. As Grayson goes on the side. Weston Fry, he's going to Loretta's. He'll be there. If you want media per rider, your usual 20 for 5, 40 for 10, $100 for 15 plus photos, or 150 for an Instagram reel. I knocked out like 11 reels from 8 a.m. to 6:05.
Nice. It's the last chance for people to get media for a few weeks, so hop on it.
Yeah. And Grayson, you going anywhere this weekend?
Not that I know of yet. We'll see. I'm that last minute make my decision probably the day before. I might make my way down to Albany or something if they're doing something, but I haven't even checked yet. I just got my photos actually completely finished yesterday and the day before, so I'm a little slower. So, but we'll see what happens. It was a good weekend. Got a bunch of photos. Check them out on my Facebook. Gravy Photography. Shameless plug.
All right. Yeah, I could post this overlay.
There you go.
Follow at GateDrop _pro or Gravy _648 on Instagram. And they sponsor more shameless plugs because we're at the end of the show. There are sponsorships open. Sponsor our event for the JMC Gate Drop Showdown 2.0 presented by Metzel Drywall. Tons of options, banners, track activation, vending, branding, media, contact. For all information, go to gatedropproductions.com/showdown, and everything is there. We have adult pit bike racing. We have mom's pit bike racing. We have tons of youth events. We have mini mayhem. We have everything going on. Whole shot challenge, and trophies are going to be bigger than kids class. And I'm working on something special. If you race, for every entry you race for, you may win something. I got to negotiate with a top sponsor of mine here. So yeah, find out soon. We'll see if I can pull it off because Christoph's crazy like that, Yep. All right. Well, that's a wrap.
All right.
Episode 22 coming up in July. You will find out on the day of. But Chance Blackburn will be coming on the show sometime in July. And whoever else you want to come on the show, if you want to come on the show, if you're interesting enough and have a cool story and whatnot.
You know somebody that knows somebody, your neighbor's cat. Like, let us know.
Meow time with Gravy and Gate Drop.
right meow.
Right meow. All right. That's a wrap.
Right.
I'm going to throw the end commercial here, and we will see you guys at the next event.
Next 3 weeks or whenever.
All right.
Later.
Guys.
Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just two guys playing that they did in the studio. Usually send their verses back to me and they be terrible, just like a 2-year-old. I love a dinner with some fine women when they start debating about who the GOAT. I'm like, go ahead, say it then. Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who you really rooting for? Like a kid that had bad from January to November. It's just true and cold.